Let me open
Yes.
some random report and let me show you.
Yeah.
So this is something I'm searching for custom report.
Okay.
Okay? Let me see if there is any report available related to compensation. Like for example, there are multiple different reports that is
Can we go with compensation survey variance? The one beneath, yeah. This is something I also populate using the EIB, right? Where I put the external survey data
Mhm.
to
You see, if
compare
we,
with
yeah,
our internal, right? Right?
so if we,
If
yeah,
I'm not.
if we talk about this report, this is a matrix report. Huh?
Okay.
So first of all, how you will review this report? Okay,
Okay.
so they have grouped it into like executive group.
Okay.
These are the various summarization type that they have mentioned.
What is this report type called as matrix? Like how you just find it like it's
Matrix.
matrix?
So if you can see here, you have an option of row grouping and column grouping. If you have viewed the graphs, right? X-axis and
Okay.
Y-axis. So here we have to mention like
Okay.
in x-axis
Okay.
what you want to have, in y-axis what you want to have. After that, you put in like what are the details that you need, right? So based on that, you get the reports. So they are
Okay.
nothing but
What are
matrix.
the other types of reports you can make other than matrix and Workday?
Other than matrix, we have composite, we have standard report, we have advanced report. So there are multiple
Okay.
type of reports that is available.
Yeah, that will be super good if you can explain me like what are the each of the reports are and when
So
and for
see,
what
talking
I
about
can
those
use that.
reports, I will give you the brief and basic because see,
Mhm.
talking about the reporting, so this is a separate module.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
report. If I talk about like normally as a consultant, I am well versed with advanced reports.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know about like how other reports are and how to use that, but I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
reporting consultant. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
but I can give you a brief like how normally all these reports work, how you'll be able to identify, how you'll be able to manage the access for all these reports. That I can give you a thorough knowledge.
That will be amazing because I definitely need that. So we can have that in the last time. So I will keep a note. Or you're wanting to what are we going to discuss in this 1 hour today?
So normally today I was planning to discuss about grades and the pay ranges that you were talking about, right?
Yes.
So that was one of the main thing that I wanted to start with, and slowly and
Okay.
gradually, whatever I have shared in the text today, we will be discussing that.
Great. And how do you distinguish between the regular compensation with that of the advanced compensation on Workday tool? Because when I go get into menu and when I click on to the compensation, to me everything looks the same because I am not a pro in advanced like you. To me
Mhm.
everything looks the same. So because in success factors it's different. It all there is nothing like advanced and basic. It just like it throws the report like what you wanted and how I do it in here, understanding which is advanced and which is like a core compensation thingy.
Mhm. Okay, I will brief you that. So this is some compensation survey variance report that they have created. They are having some. So talking about the advanced compensation that you are referring about in your company, right?
Hmm.
They are planning to implement that, right? So you
Yes.
internally going to, I don't think like internally you will be expanding that into the advanced compensation. There will be some implementation partner or someone from the support side, right?
Yes, of course. I have a Workday support team who are doing it from the support side. Like what we, first of all, we just initiated our talks after our integration last year. This
Mm-hmm.
year, we plan to have an advanced compensation thingy because we wanted to put forward from next year, as I said before, we never had performance rating, and we are going towards the performance rating for our company employees. We are
Mm-hmm.
going for a pay for performance culture. So we wanted a system where you remember in success factors we always have something called rating scale where the compensation managers, whereas the managers can rate their employees, and that gets populated for us to view. And that, for example, if the person is rated 1, he'll be giving which is like the highest out of 1 to 5. If 5 is the least and 1 is the highest, if that person was rated 1 for his annual performance by his manager, he will
Mhm.
be giving the maximum merit percentage. So the system auto computes based on our simulation matrices that we have feeded on the system in success
Mhm.
factors. I wanted to understand how I do that in Workday. For example, if I'm launching my performance management for my system, for my
Mhm.
company, I wanted to understand how I do it in Workday because I know how it is done in success factors, how I feed the simulation based on my company's performance and based on my company's balance scorecard and individual's balance scorecard. I do the simulation and do it in success factors, but I'm not sure like how I do it in Workday.
Okay. So one thing I want to ask, like in Workday, if I talk about like you're mentioning about performance, right? Performance is a separate model, talent and
Okay.
performance. Okay.
Okay.
The rating that you talked about, right? Like performance
Yes.
rating that happens mainly in most of the companies, it happens on a yearly basis. In some companies, goes on quarterly or every 6 months.
Yeah.
It happens in a
Half a
different way,
yeah.
right? And depending upon the grading that we get, based on that, the compensation annual compensation increment gets decided, right? So here in Workday, what we have is
Mm-hmm.
compensation is an entirely different setup that we do, right? And apart from that, you are talking about the performance related to the grading, like whether uh, the level of grading system that we want to set up, it is different. And after that, both gets linked. Okay,
Mm,
so that's
yes.
how mainly things work in Workday. I am not sure from the success factor point of view. In success factor, was it a common platform where both thing happens at the same place, or that's what
Yes,
you?
yes, it does. It does happen in the same place.
Hmm.
So it is, for example, it is not as what do you say? It is not as clustered like in Workday. It is in a very lineage platform. So, for example, I if I am like a comp administrator, which is my
Mhm.
role, and as a comp administrator, I will be able to assess whether my manager has rated my employee right. Okay. And I will say, like, sometimes I override saying, like, hey, this is not possible. You are doing a bias analysis, and this is the maximum percentage you can throw if you're rating this person so and so. Okay.
Okay.
So, as a comp administrator, I have a lineage where I understand my manager is doing something right or something wrong. Okay, for example, there are like instances where where the manager can give a person a terrible rating of 5 but give
Mhm.
him a 10 percentage of increment, which is like sounds nuts, right?
Mhm.
It is impossible. How can a person get a maximum of percentage when he was rated very low?
Mhm.
So it's technically where I, as an administrator, I have a power to override it and I just tell the manager like what your rating and your merit matrix percentage you have given, the utilization is wrong. It is going to impact your budget. Okay, while I do the annual performance rating. Okay, let's say like the HRBP is involved only to understand the performance rating system is getting accurate, ensuring like every manager rates their employees in a fair amount. That is the HRBP's task. But
Mhm.
as a compensation benefits manager, my role comes into play whether the manager who has rated an employee has given the right rating. So my system is computing the right merit percentage based on the rating given. Okay. So I just be a data administrator, do my data sanitization throughout. So wherever it is need of a time proration or when there is a when there is no eligibility rules for certain employees, say like an employee is completely on leaves for more than 6 months and the
Mhm.
person loses the eligibility for their annual review performances for that particular year. So
Mhm.
that is all part of the eligibility rules. And if at all a person is already under the higher compa ratio, as a compartment, I just go back to the manager saying like, hey, this person is already at a higher compa ratio, and on top of that, you're giving a 10 percentage can give a spike on the overall succession planning of this person. or a perform or like a long-term career planning for this person in the organization. So could you please utilize your team's budget efficiently? That is where my role comes into play. Okay, so I just wanted to, I get all this data. This can be read in success factors for me directly, and there is nothing like a screen between me and my manager. I will get to know like what he's doing then and there for his employees. You get my point?
So,
But
uh, so,
I'm not sure like how it is done in Workday.
so that's what I'm telling, right? Like normally we have various type of reports that can be created, like you're mentioning, right? So for that, you we can create different reports, okay, and we can
Mhm.
track each and everything that we want to. So reporting is the medium by which we track all this information.
Exactly. And would I be able to learn in this model? Would I be able to learn how I'm going to do the percentage simulation? For example, if a rating module of 1 to 5 is a rating scale
Mhm.
of 1 to 5, as 1 as the least and 5 as the highest. Let's keep, sorry, 1 as the highest and 5 as the least. Let's keep it that way. As
Mhm.
a compensation manager, I would say like my from the finance, I'm getting some 95 million as a budget. Okay.
Mhm.
Or like let's take lesser number, like 1 crore as a budget to maintain the compensation for the team.
Mhm.
Okay. And 1 crore is my core budget, for
Mhm.
which I need to distribute it along with my 50 employees in my organization who are eligible for a annual appraisal system.
Mhm.
Okay. And I wanted to give them based on the proration rules that apply until when, till when the performance has started and gauged for those 50 employees. So I wanted to understand like how I simulate the percentage. Say like how do I define in Workday saying like for rating 1 this is the maximum percentage I can allocate. How you do that in
Okay.
Workday? These are the things I wanted to understand.
Okay. Slowly and gradually, we will start from the basics, right? And we'll come
Hmm.
to that. Okay.
Hmm.
And we will try to cover. I will try to brief you about like what is the possibility, what can be done, what are the significance of each and every plans or the uh, items that we'll be discussing about. Okay, so
Yes.
that you will have a better understanding. Because normally, what will happen is, and one more thing I want to understand, like talking about from the implementation side, what is going to be your role over there as a compensation admin?
So when this project is coming, I was just told like, you know what, you will be taking care of the advanced compensation integration for the employee thing. So whatever I discussed right now, right? These
You
would
are
be my
mentioning here
roles.
integration that I'm not able to understand. You already have worked the core system, worked the system. There you are going to
Yes,
add on the advanced
yes,
compensation, right?
yes.
Okay.
That's what we are going to do. So I'm just having a basic hiccups. Like, will it be more in terms of advance? We have a basic core compensation thing, what we
Mhm.
have. But the thing is, like, we haven't utilized to the fullest, okay?
So
Because of
actually, the
many other
core
things.
compensation we do not have much, or the compensation which is a part of. Let me show you, like what
Yeah, that will be
exactly.
even more better.
Yeah, let us discuss from that. You have already gone through the recordings that you mentioned, right? So let me go to the compensation tab. So this is the compensation tab.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mainly, if I talk about the basic compensation stuff, right? In compensation, we will have pay ranges. Like if
Min, median, and max of the employee.
yes. So mainly, if I talk about the pay ranges, okay, like for every different job profiles, right? We have different pay range. It can be depending upon the location, country. That's how mainly it is segregated.
Yeah, and sometimes it's based on the business units, job
Yeah.
functions, job grades.
Yeah. So it's up to us, like in which way we want to maintain it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And because I have seen clients like who maintain city wise. Okay, there are
Mm-hmm.
clients who mention country wise. So it depends. It's totally up to the client how they want to manage the
Okay.
uh, job profile pay ranges. Okay, or normally you can
Okay.
call it as a pay ranges. Apart from that, in core compensation, we have allowances plan, basic allowances plan, like you can see here, car allowances, internet allowances. So those will be the
Okay.
basic plan that will come under. Okay, and apart from that, the salary related information. Okay, so those are the basic stuff that is available. All type of different allowances plan, whether it's the worker is salaried or hourly. So these are the basic stuff that is available within that compensation. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Similarly, if you talk about advanced compensation, all right. So you already have the advanced compensation related topics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if we talk about advanced compensation related plans, right? Like for
Yes.
example, we have merit plan, bonus plan, stock plan, or like future payment plan, or apart from that,
Mm-hmm.
deferred bonus plan. So there are various different plan that is available, right? Which comes under advanced compensation.
Okay, that's what I wanted to learn because while we had sales compensation quite some time.
Mhm.
Okay, now we don't wanted to continue the sales incentive plan any longer. We wanted to have it like a revised plan. So while I'm going to put that in Workday, how I'm going to do that? How I'm going to create a new compensation plan or a new incentive plan, like
Mhm.
a bonus plan or stock plan, how
Mhm.
I'm going to do, and how I will be able to understand the availability of share pool that I can distribute for the upcoming employees who are eligible for stock plans. How I do that using Workday. That's what I wanted to do.
Okay. And one more thing, there is a defaulting rule in compensation. Okay.
Okay.
Normally, let's take an example. You created some plan. Let's take an
Hmm.
example. You created an allowances plan. Okay. Like
Okay.
here, you can see merit plan, variable or one-time payment. Okay. Allowance plan, salary, stock plan. So all these
Yeah.
plans are available, right? Let's take an example. You created some allowances plan for internet allowances. How that
Okay.
plan, how for that specific plan, any worker will become automatically eligible. Okay, you will not want. It might be there might be a scenario wherein you want that plan to only for a specific group of employees, not to all employees. Okay, let's take an
Okay.
example. You are giving that plan to managers. Okay,
Okay.
so whenever
Okay.
we are hiring any worker who is a manager, how that plan will automatically pop up during the compensation. Okay,
Okay.
so that is
Okay.
normally called as defaulting. So how normally that
Okay.
happens? So that is something which we will look into. So let's start from the basic. I will start.
Yeah, I'm going to shut my mouth now because I wanted to come like a very open book,
Mhm.
like a person who never knew anything. I wanted to learn that way, like
Mhm.
unlearning myself and coming to your classes.
Mhm.
So I wanted you to just teach me like a person who never knew Workday, and you are going to take the ownership of letting her know what is Workday. I wanted you to teach me that way. Okay, so I get a lot of questions to ask and make it
Mhm.
more interactive. Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, let's
Okay.
see. Like in different companies, we have different grading systems, right?
Yeah.
Like different companies, they grade the workers in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take an example of this worker, Jacqueline. Okay. So this
Mm-hmm.
is how mainly for any worker the compensation will look like. This is the recent update. Okay, that is the reason why you are able to see the compensation in this way.
Okay.
Okay, if I want to see, so here,
So this is like Jacqueline is the system administrator, right, of Workday.
yes,
and she will be able to, if I am the system administrator, I will be in the place of Jacqueline, and I would be able to view the entire company's data, right? In terms of exporting the data and everything.
Sorry, I didn't get it. Can you repeat it again?
No, I got my answer. Thanks. Yeah. OG.
Okay. Okay. So see, if you see the grade here, right? They have graded
Yeah.
in management. So maybe
Yes.
they have graded into management, non-management, or maybe something else. So
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about companies, they grade in a different way. Some grade into level A, level B, or level one, level two. So it's completely up to the
Yes.
client. Okay.
Yeah.
So normally how we do that? Okay. If I talk about the configuration, so normally see,
Mm-hmm.
talking about you, you will not be doing the hardcore configuration part, but yeah, from the
Mm-hmm.
basic point of view, like how it is done, so that whenever the implementation happens or any changes happen, you are well aware, okay, like how things happen, where I have to go and check. I will try to brief you till that level. Okay, so you can
Yes.
do your job easily.
Okay.
Like for example, I want to create a grade, or I
So
want to,
today we are going to understand about creating compensation grade, right? That's our topic of the day.
yes.
Okay. I'm just making a note. That's why I just stopped you. Thanks. Yes, over to you, please. I'm not able to hear you, Raj.
No, I'm not saying anything for now.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay. So this is the effective date. So whenever you create any grade, we have to give an effective date since when this grade is applicable or since when this grade we want to be available in the system. Okay. Let's
So
take,
this can be based on the promotion of the effective date of the grade or the hiring of the employee. That can be the effective date, right? Or the date of the
let's
promotion.
not compare it with any worker or anything. Since when I want this grade to be available in the system, it's about that.
Okay, it's like a job itself. Okay. Mm.
Yeah. I can grade it as 0101 1900 as well. It is not going to
Mm-hmm.
have any impact. Okay. Here we have
Mm-hmm.
pay range segment. Okay. So
Okay.
normally, and here we have to define it like in how many segments we want to have. For example, I have a range of 0 to 100. Okay. So the 0 to 100 in how many segments I want to divide. Okay. Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, if I divide it into four parts, it will be 0 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 75, 75 to 100. So it will be four
Okay.
segments. Okay. If in case I want to have
Okay.
it in a three-way, three segments, I can define it three, two, it's up to us. Normally, talking about the clients, majorly they follow or they have four segments. Okay.
Okay.
Here we have a checkbox of use grade profiles. What is the meaning of this? Okay. So normally, let's say,
So here the pay range is like mostly like 50th percentile, 20, 10, 20, like 10, 50, 70, and 90. That is the four ranges here, like min, median, and max and stretch. That's what you're saying, right?
yes.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
yeah.
After that, here we have an option of use grade profiles. What is the meaning of
Mm-hmm.
this? So normally this grade profile states, let's take an example. I want to, I'm creating different grades. Okay. And I have, and my company is located into multiple countries. Okay. So let's take
Mm.
an example. I have a grade of management. Okay.
Okay,
Within management, I will have workers of different countries within that grade, right?
okay,
Let's take an example. I have a worker who is located in United States. Another one, there is another worker who is located in Netherlands.
okay.
Okay. So the pay range will be different. For US worker, it will be in dollars, US dollars. For
Mm-hmm.
Netherlands worker, it will be in euro, right? So there is a different.
Yes.
So how I will define the range? Okay. So this
Mm.
competition grade that we are creating, this is one of the main reason is to define the pay ranges. Okay,
Okay.
depending upon the grading system that we are defining. Normally you might be already aware, right? Like with different grades, the pay range that comes into picture is different. right?
Yes,
So if in case,
you're right.
let's take another example. My company is located only in United States or only in one specific country. So I do not
Mm-hmm.
need to use this grade profiles.
Okay, so technically, what you said is like while I do the salary bands, right? I used to do this where I use a grade profile to
Mhm,
profile my employees' job grade based
mhm,
on the geographical location.
mhm,
So a person who are already, for example, I have a location in India and I also have it in Germany. If that
mhm.
is the case, if I put the use grade profiles, the system automatically, the Workday automatically computes and gives us the pay range for India employees itself based on India pay ranges, and for Germany employees based on the Germany pay ranges. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay.
So let me show you how it happens. So I'm going to
Okay.
use the grade profiles.
Okay.
Okay. When I will use the grade profiles,
Mhm.
okay, I have to give a grade name. You can tell me whatever name.
Mm, let's say like professional.
Professional, you said.
Okay.
Anything else?
Professional or support. You grade name is like the employee's name you're mentioning, or
No, grade like management, non-management, anything that.
that's what. There are like management, professional, expert, and support.
Let me do it as expert. Better.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Using my name initial so I can find my grade name because this is a practice tenant, right? There might
Okay.
be
Okay.
different one that might be available. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
DPT one. Okay. You can brief any description if you want to have with respect to this grade name. Okay. That is for a reference purpose.
I have a question. I have a
Mhm,
question. Sorry to interrupt. So, just I'm a bit curious. So, in my organization, we had job grades, okay?
mhm,
And in certain point, we wanted to create job catalogs where we got new expansion of business. Say, like we got a global expansion of our business, and these particular jobs are not already there in our existing job profile or existing job architecture module.
mhm,
Okay, so we wanted to create a new job profile called, say, like a job position called Chief Growth Officer. Let's
mhm,
keep that way because we
mhm.
have one, which is, I feel that is unrealistic, but this is our organization's need to have a Chief Growth Officer. Okay, and for him, I need to create a job grading. So I will use this technique, what you're doing right now, right? To create the job grade.
Yes. So, for
Okay,
example,
okay.
if in case there is already a grade that you already have been using and you want to make that new job profile apart, well and good,
Mm-hmm.
you can do that. How to link the
Okay,
job profile with the grade, I will show you once I have done with this. Okay.
okay,
But let's
okay.
take in another example wherein you want to have a new grade for
Mm-hmm.
some group of people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to uh, have a separate job profiles and introduce that. That is also feasible. So Workday is
Okay,
very much flexible. You can do whatever you want. Okay.
okay, okay.
So let's take an example for that chief growth officer that you mentioned. I want to create a new grade which is not available
Mm-hmm.
as of now, and I want to keep that person in the expert grade. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Base pay element I will use as a base pay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Eligibility rules.
What is
Okay.
aura base pay?
What did you say?
While you click the base pay, there were other list of base
So see,
pays,
this is
right?
the practice tenant. Randomly
So
people will have.
multiple. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry, I got confused. Sorry. Yeah.
So this is eligibility rules. So normally we have to define, like talking about this expert, right? Which people
Mm-hmm.
will come under this grade?
Okay.
Okay. We have to define that eligibility.
Okay.
Okay. If in
Okay.
case I don't want to define here the eligibility, there might be a
Okay.
reason I don't know exactly like which group of people I want to keep here. Okay.
Okay.
I will keep this as blank. But how to
Okay.
define this to any specific worker? You gave me an example. Okay. Like let's take an example. I'm creating this grade, right? For Chief growth
Chief growth.
officer, and maybe some other people that I will be hiring in the future, whose job profile I
Okay.
even don't know right now. Okay.
Yeah, in a
So
forecasting manner.
yeah.
Yes.
So I will not pretty much clear like regarding which people will be eligible for this, right? So we'll keep this blank.
Yes.
That is one of the reason
Okay.
why this is not mandatory.
Always. Okay. Okay. Got
Okay.
it. Yeah.
And I will use the currency as USD. Let's take an
Okay.
example. You can take anything. Frequency. Let's take the frequency as annual
Monthly.
because
Oh, okay.
normally
Okay.
the pay ranges that we define for most of the countries, like
It's annual.
it's mainly in annual only. Okay. Here we have a minimum and maximum amount. So normally, if in case I do not use this grade profile checkbox that you saw before, right? I
Mm-hmm.
would not have this option.
Got this tab. Okay.
Okay.
Just because you use grade profiles, it created another tab
Yes.
like compensation grade
Let's
profiles.
take an
Okay.
example. If let's assume like I didn't check that box. Okay. This tab will
Okay.
not be available, and I can define the eligibility rule here. Okay. Or
Okay.
I cannot define that, and I can mention the minimum and maximum pay range for this specific grade. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Now I have used this grade profiles. Okay. So
Okay.
now I
Okay.
will have the options available in a different way. Let's see how normally we utilize this. Let's take an example. I want to define this as expert.
Mm-hmm.
You can name it anything. Okay. Expert in USA. Okay. Let's take an
Okay.
example. I have it in multiple countries. One is in USA, another one is in Canada, or vice
Mm-hmm.
versa. Okay. I will define the base pay element here as the same again as in base pay.
Mm-hmm.
You can see like hope base pay. So some people have created randomly and they're using their own. Here the eligibility rule is
So
Mhm.
I have a question. Like, shall I mention the grade profile description with a job description here? Will that make
job,
sense?
job
No.
description meaning.
So, for example, for chief growth officer, the job's description, like what this person will be doing and what this
No, no,
CGO
no.
will be
That is
doing.
not needed
No.
to be done here. If you
Okay.
want
This
to
is
write anything with respect to this expert and US, you can
that you
mention
can
that in
put
the
here.
description.
Okay. So expert
Related
is
to
like
job
more like
profile,
a subject matter expert
yeah.
role. Okay.
Yeah, you can mention as SME, okay,
Okay. Okay.
SME level. You can mention something like SME level in USA. You can mention this description.
Okay.
The description
Okay.
that you refer, it is related to job profile specific. So that is something which we
Okay.
do in
Okay.
the job profile segment.
That you'll teach me also, right? That
Yes.
you'll also make.
So here
Okay.
we
Okay.
have eligibility rules. Here eligibility rules become important
Okay. Okay.
because
Oh.
I do not have workers who are in expert level. I do not know, but I have to define like this is eligible for only US people. So I have to use an
Okay.
eligibility rule wherein this triggers only for workers who are in United States. So for that, I have to create an
Okay.
eligibility rule. So the task is create eligibility rule.
Okay.
So there are different type of eligibility rules used. Like for example, for benefits related, it's a benefit. For compensation, we have compensation eligibility rule. So we will be using the compensation one because
Okay.
this eligibility rule we are creating for compensation, right? So we will
Okay.
choose the correct task.
Okay.
Let's take an example. I can mention here. I'm just giving my name initial Raj, expert for USA. Okay.
Mhm.
I will use the filter condition as country
Okay.
because I want to give a create an eligibility rule for country USA. Remember one thing, whenever you are creating any eligibility rule, these are the fields that is available. The symbol that you
Okay.
see here, it defines
Mm-hmm.
like these fields are Workday delivered. These
Okay.
fields that you see, there is no symbol available. These are
These are customized.
custom ones which someone might have created. Okay.
Okay.
So to
Okay.
verify, you can go to this related actions button.
Okay.
You can see this field source is nothing but Workday delivered.
Workday delivered. Okay.
And if you want
And
to read,
could you
Mhm.
just tab in for the one that is custom delivered?
There will be nothing.
Okay.
You
Okay.
can
Okay.
see someone might have given some name and created. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So you can go and read the description once for getting a better idea.
Okay.
Like when there is a primary location, returns country of primary location. Means if someone had any location, it will gives the country wherein that location is available. Okay.
Okay. Wonderful.
I can choose this. Relation operators. So there are different options that is available. Is empty, is not empty,
Okay.
none in the selection list. I want to use like
Any
whatever
in the
country is
selection list.
available, any in the selection list.
Okay. Okay.
I will search here with United States. Here you will have the list. Whether you have
Of
selected the
countries.
right field or not, you can cross verify here in the result section.
Okay.
Whether
Okay.
you are getting
Okay.
your desired result that you are expecting or not.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So our eligibility rule is created.
Okay.
I will use here. Okay.
Okay.
I will select my eligibility rule.
Mm-hmm.
Currency. This is for US. It will be USD. Frequency is going to be annual.
Annual. Yeah.
Okay. Here I am randomly defining a pay range of, let's take an example of 250,000
Mm-hmm.
to 400,000. Okay.
Okay.
I will use this checkbox so
Yeah.
that it will auto calculate all the
Uh,
values.
the okay, it'll auto calculate. Okay, you're giving the min and the maximum range, and it'll give you
Yes.
the median and next ranges. So,
Yes.
what is the percentage it usually calculates between,
Minimum and segment
and
floor.
which is
So
that
it will,
stretch?
yes.
So, what would be the midpoint here? So, at what percentage of midpoint it has calculated
So you can see it has calculated 325.
as its midpoint,
Yeah.
which is the
So minimum
segment
and
three,
maximum, whatever
segment
the
two.
midpoint we have within this, it will calculate here.
So let's say in this, the 287 is the min, and 325, which is the second column, is naturally the segment 2, which is the midpoint, and
Mhm.
the max is 362, and the stretch is 4,400, right? That's what
Yes.
the segment.
Yes.
Okay, okay. And my question is, usually I calibrate it based on the, for example, when I'm doing the midpoint progression, the range progressions, range penetrations, right? So
Mhm.
from min to midpoint and from midpoint to max, usually I used to have, for example, for expert level, we keep like 30 percentage, okay, of increase from one level to another level, where from min to max it will be the base of, like, the range penetration will be like 10 percentage, but the midpoint progression from one level to another level, say like L1, L2, L3, these are the job grades, right? From L1 to L2 level there will be 30 percentage of difference of their salary, which is the midpoint progression. But however, the minimum till medium of the L1 job level, say like for this Raj expert, it's like 287 to 325. What is the percentage it has calculated automatically?
So just to give you an idea, right? I think you're
Mm-hmm.
understanding it incorrectly. So this is
Okay.
the pay range that I have for this specific grade profile. You're mixing up with multiple grade profiles, L1, L2. You want to have a
Okay.
30% difference between L1 and L2. So let's within expert, you can, so this expert is one level that you have, right?
Yeah, in one level, let's say expert is an L1 level. Okay.
Mhm.
Expert is an L1 level. Sorry, let's say like L3 is the least and L1. Yeah, L1 is the highest. Let's say expert is an L1.
Let's in that
What
way,
is
let's
the,
take an example.
from min to,
Mhm.
my question is simple. From min to segment 1 top, right? What is the percentage difference it has calculated? What is the percentage difference it has calculated that made it show like 325 is the next percentage of value? Can you scroll down? My question is very simple.
Mhm.
from 250, on what percentage it made the system to compute 287 500? On what percentage? Should we feed the percentage or the system auto calibrates? That I'm questioning.
System auto calculates.
And if it auto calibrates, on how many percentage of weightages it do?
So
And
see,
do I have a leverage to adjust the weightages and adjustments?
you do not have any leverage in doing this. Okay.
Okay.
You have another option, like you have seen already, right? We have selected four segments, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can reduce the number of segments. Okay. That is
Yeah,
the
where
option
it
that you
will
have.
only give you a min and
Mainly,
max.
yeah, mainly in this segment, what it does is it divides equally. So you're
50%.
asking about this 325, right?
Yes, this 325, how did you calibrate from 250 if
Let
you
me
put
tell
it?
you. So this 325 is the midpoint of whatever minimum and maximum value that you are defining. So I have defined
Okay.
250 as the minimum. I have defined 400 as the maximum. So if you see
Okay.
the midpoint of this minimum and maximum is nothing but 325.
I get that calculation. Then my
Mhm,
question is, usually we have something called under compensation while we determine the min and the max and the midpoint. We
mhm,
usually determine, say, like there is a phase where we do weightage and adjustments
mhm,
while we price a job. What
mhm,
you're doing here is you say like in the workday topic, it sounds like you're creating a compensation grade. Okay. For
mhm,
me, it is like a typical job pricing which I use in pay factors, which is another
mhm,
application I use just like workday.
mhm,
Okay. So when I'm doing the pricing of the job, so 250 is my min and maximum is 400. So to calibrate, I don't want a 325. I know like this is above the, say like it is like 75th percentile for this particular expert level in the market, which my company is not going to afford. And its midpoint is 50th percentile, right? With that of the
mhm,
markets. I always have a weightage and adjustment. Say like I will do a 10 percentage. Say like 250 to 287, which is the next calibration. Say like you have put 10 percentage. Let's keep that. Yeah, it is keeping a 10 percentage variance, right?
mhm, yes. So now I put it as,
Yeah,
you want me to put 10%?
yeah. If you put it as a percentage, will it calibrate as a percentage?
No. It will
Okay,
normally
you
calculate like whatever minimum and whatever maximum you have and put in, right? It will segregate equally into four parts. It will divide
okay,
the minimum and maximum into four segments. That's it. It doesn't
okay.
calculate based
I'm
on the
keeping it
percentage,
simple.
whatever you put in.
Okay, it calibrates into four parts.
Correct.
On what percentage of value? So
It,
like for example, let's say you are given one cake, okay?
Mhm,
So you are asked to give it into four segments,
mhm,
okay? So you're cutting the cake into quarter, quarter, quarter. Four quarters is equal to one cake, which
correct.
is like, I'm really bad in math, help me. If it
Mhm,
is like, let's say like 20 percentage,
mhm,
20 percentage, like five slices of the cake,
mhm,
which is 20 percentage each, will give you a
mhm,
100 percentage of a one cake,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
So you are expecting, you have put a min and a maximum, say like 250 as a min and a maximum as 400. So
mhm.
what is the percentage of each of the segment it has taken? That's the question I'm asking. Because here the system is auto calibrating. My question is that.
Okay. In that scenario, I have to calculate the percentage. Then only I'll be able to tell you. Because normally I will tell you, normally the percentage by whatever amount it is calculating, I'm not sure. But one thing I can tell you, like regarding this segment, the
Hmm.
application is to use, let's take an example. For example, you're hiring someone, right? So this is
Mm.
just as a reference. Okay. Like
Okay,
you
okay,
said, there is no usage with respect to anything else. This just give you an
okay,
idea, like for this specific job profile, within which pay range I have to hire someone.
okay.
There
My
is
question
no
arises
relation in
second time.
between, yeah, there is no relation in between the percentage increase or the dividing that it is doing. There is no relationship with that.
why I'm bringing the relationship here is because
Mhm.
while I'm going to give you the pay ranges here, right?
Mhm.
So like 250, you say like my company is going to pay a CGO at a 250 range, which is a
Mhm.
minimum of a market. This is an internal survey, internal pay range of my company. Say
Mhm.
like cloud is my company. Cloud's company's pay range starts from 250 to 400. But when I'm as a compensation manager, I'm going to assess whether able to pay or are we paying extra or minimal of for the CGO. So that's why I read the survey reports from Aon or Towers Watson to understand the percentage variance. So
Mhm.
how will so in that case, I will be comparing the range of 250 to 400 of this particular job level
Mhm.
to that of that particular job grade. For example, it's expert here. For a similar expert level, what is the market paying for the expert level? I will be computing it. So this is, you meant to say this is like a vague range for our basic reference only,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Okay, okay. So anyway, in future, if I export the salary survey report, like say like I'm getting a annual survey report from Radford, and
Mhm.
I am uploading that data in Workday, right? So
Mhm.
the Workday data will give me the calibration and comparison between my internal range 250 to 400 with that of the market range which I uploaded, which can be 300 to 600. It will give
Yes,
you a
correct.
comparison.
Correct.
Okay, that's the question I wanted. That's the answer I wanted. Thank you.
And
Sorry, I
norm
might be a
and
really tough
normally
learner.
and normally this
Yeah.
variance will reflect. Let's take an example. I'm hiring an expert level guy in US. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when I will be hiring anyone of that specific job profile, at that point of time, the parent that will reflect to me, it will be the same 250 to 400,000.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay.
This mid segment values will not reflect.
Okay, this is only our internal company guideline
Correct.
values.
Correct.
It is not compared with, and that's why I have an import range where I import the market data for my internal calibration. And
Yes.
every annual, I redo my pay range. Like I
Correct.
clean up my pay ranges and I develop it, keeping
Yeah. So normally,
keeping the reference point of my
yeah.
survey data.
Normally
Okay.
what kind of request we get is like normally there are clients, right? Like who have around 50,000 job profiles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they will have their own respective grading system and everything, right? So
Yes.
normally there are multiple third parties that is available in the market from where they get the real time uh, pay ranges with
Yeah.
respect to
Yeah.
various
One
job
such is
profiles
Radford.
and location wise, right? So they
Yes.
want to be in sync with that, and at the same time, they have to look into like in the current one, like whatever
Mm-hmm.
the pay ranges that is available, right? Whether everything is in place. It should not be like, let's take an example, this expert level. I have a range of 250 to 400,000, and I am having workers of expert level in 240 or 410, right? Above the
Okay.
pay range or below the pay range. That again comes into picture. So for avoiding that scenarios, also there are multiple setup that is available, like having validation, like if anyone is going above or below, there should be a proper justification that should be there.
Okay. That will be amazing. Yes. So now we have created a date and range, and we use the grade profiles,
Yeah. No,
and we
one
are
more thing I
creating the
wanted to show you here.
yes.
Like that was something which I did for one location, right? There will be
Mm,
multiple locations. There are clients who are located in uh, tens or hundreds of locations, right?
yes, yes.
So normally in that scenario, what will happen if in case I have this grade that I'm going to use for multiple locations, I can add multiple countries. This is the option. And the pay range
Okay.
and the currency will be different.
For
Eligibility include.
example,
Hmm,
I'm going to create this compensation grade for European market. So I
hmm,
can add all the 27 countries here.
correct.
Okay. So if
And
it
for
is
all
like
the different
Benelux,
countries, you can have different ranges.
okay, for example, let's take Benelux as an example.
Hmm,
I will be able to add Belgium as a country and keeping the currency, for each of the addition, I have to fill in all the eligibility rules, like the same eligibility rules I have created,
Correct.
right? Okay, it's just going to be repetitive, but with different country names.
Yeah, right.
Okay, okay, okay.
So this was about compensation grades.